with you riding with me. This is teams within our team. It's not that type of shit. We riding for the overall goal. Did we go about it wrong?
I don't care.
Hell yeah.
That was wrong. You're wrong.
That falls on everybody.
Fam, that's wrong. You went about that the wrong way. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have done that. It wasn't about foul. For you to tell Rory not to come in and record? Huh?
And even more to his point of riding, you and I didn't even really have real beef. Like, we had some disagreement and some tension. It wasn't a division where people had to choose sides and we was out here. Like, nah, that's not the right way to go about this.
Listen, man, you saying what you said to me was really nuts. I'm like, wait, now I really don't know what's going on. You tell Rory not to come in and record, and then you tell me this show was none of my business.
I don't want to make it uncomfortable by saying this, but I am the person that is supposed to tell Rory, yo, dog, you should chill for a few.
You can tell Rory that if that's something that all of us talk about.
Joe
Yes, conversation.
What Charlamagne said came
like,
true.
that's the part you
what
missed.
he said came true. He gave Rory seat up, and then he talked them all crazy again in the clip, talking about, yo, I'm the final authority, and you can just sit down essentially and deal with it, is what he told Maul. So why would Maul, as a grown man already getting crushed on the internet, the brilliant idiots is calling to call him Daddy Podcast, why would Maul do that to himself? Why would he do that to himself? He doesn't need to do that to himself. Let's say Rory and Maul could go and get a bag. I'm not saying that their podcast would be successful. I'm not saying it would be amazing. I think they might be entertaining. In a one-on-one situation, I think not in one-on-one. I think they'll need another co-host, to be honest. I like the triple setup they got. You know what I'm saying? I think they need that wild card with them. Excuse me. But I think that they can go and do a decent podcast. And let's say the podcast is trash. With all this controversy, with all of them being recognized from the Joe Budden podcast, they can go get a bag and get the bag up front, and then the podcast can just be trash and they not get the contract renewed. They can go and get bread. And this is my biggest problem with this whole situation, right? Joe Budden says he has a problem with Maul asking questions about the business because he feels like he's overpaid him. He has an issue with Rory coming in and trying to ask questions or look at the books and say, yo, what's going on with the money? You know, how we divide this up if it's right. Joe, if you feel like you're the boss, sit down and have the conversation. Y'all were friends. Y'all were friends too. This is me thinking from a friend's point of view. If me and my boys had business together and we weren't seeing eye to eye about the numbers, I'm not finna hide the numbers from you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a conversation, and if I feel like I don't need to pay you nothing else, I'm going to tell you that. But I'm gonna give you the numbers, I'm gonna explain my stance because we work together, and on top of that, you're my friend. So I'm not gonna just tell you shut the F up, shut up in color. I'm going to give you the business. I'm gonna try to put you on game. I'm not trying to oppress any of my boys. I'm not trying to oppress any of my homies. So I don't need to use nobody. I don't need to control nobody. I don't need nobody to look at me like they daddy, none of that. I'm gonna teach my boys how to get money. If my boys think they're supposed to get more bread, and I know for a fact they're not supposed to be getting more bread, I'm gonna sit you down and explain why I disagree with you, and I'm gonna explain to you how we can get to a better position. Joe said eventually, like in the pod, like, yo, you want more money? I bring business to the table, so I'm gonna get more. If y'all start bringing business to the table, y'all gonna get more. He said that in the pod, but my thing is behind the scenes before it got this bad, have this conversation. It's crazy that this conversation is just coming up and Joe's talking about his feelings on it and talking about how they didn't do nothing and he was carrying the show and all this stuff. Joe, you are spitting verbatim what DJ Academics was saying. And my thing is, I've been saying this for like the last year that DJ Academics has been on Rory and Maul neck. He's getting that information from somewhere. Let's stop pretending that Maul and Rory are the snakes. Let's try to look at this for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. How is Academics getting so much intimate information? It's clearly Joe. My thing is this: if Joe wanted to say, yo, I respect Academics, he said that in the podcast, I respect Academics, so I'm gonna still do business with Academics. That don't mean y'all not my boys. Y'all don't mess with each other, but y'all all my boys. I can see if he just said that was the end of it. But you know that they not cool. You know Academics is using his huge platform to destroy these dudes. And you're going back and telling him little information about you guys beef so he can leak it out. I guarantee, look, y'all don't peep game. Y'all don't peep game. When stuff leak, it's not leaked, bro. It always comes out on purpose. When something leaks, they're gauging the audience. They're gauging or they want to get something out. There's always ulterior motives. Stuff don't leak, bro. When you hear music leak, it's not leaked, bro. It's just to build hype. It's to promote an album. It's not real. All this stuff is fake. So what kills me though,
there's only one problem with what you're saying.
We did what we said we were going to do?
They were there.
What you mean?
I'm asking you.
Job to check what?
I'm asking you.
I spoke to you.
And I'm asking you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I spoke to you, said, let's all get in our respective corners. Like, that's why this is kind of semantics, man, to me. Do I understand that you wanted to continue the show, needs to continue the show contractually with other advertisers, things of that nature? We have a bunch of people here that make a lot of money off this podcast. Fully understand
Then address your thinking that I should make a phone call to people to say, hey, you can't pay your rent this month.
I never said you shouldn't do that.
Because I need to go get with Rory and Maul to see what's going on with us, with the three of us.
I never said you shouldn't do that.
Is that DJ Academics have all this information about them. Joe has been a snake. I don't know why everybody's trying to paint Rory and Maul out to be snakes for being ignorant. If Rory and Maul felt like they should have got paid more and they want to talk about it, have a conversation, or they want to handle it legally, they're within every right to say, yes, we want to do that. And if Joe want to say, no, I don't owe you all that bread, let's talk about the numbers, let's do this, Joe has the right to say no. But to pretend like they're snakes for wanting to get the business right, or that because it's called the Joe Budden podcast, they have to say yes or walk away from the deal when they have contracts, this makes no sense. What are y'all talking about? Some of you guys blow me. And then on top of that, it's like, yo, I was trying to look at the history of this. I was like, man, I feel like we've been here before. And the shorty, I'm gonna play the clip. She was on the No Jumper podcast. I'm gonna play.
I wasn't gonna ask this question, but I actually really want to know the answer, so I'm just gonna ask anyway. How would you describe why things ended between you and the JBP, the Joe Budden podcast? Like, what's your version of how that sort of played out?
My version is exactly what happened. I come in one morning, and Rosenberg's like, I went in on your boy on air, and I was like, cool. I literally didn't even ask what he said because I just don't care about their stupid little beef. Like 6 hours later, I got a text from Joe that said, you're fired. Literally zero context. I have no idea what happened. And I wrote back, what? And then he wrote back, you are fired. Like he took the apostrophe out.
The airport, minding my business, with my notifications on. Get a text message that reads, hey man, do me a solid. Take the next few pods off. I said, question mark. Joe then says, exclamation point on the statement. I already know what time it is when a man puts the little emoji thing over his own.
But the lady was explaining how Joe fired her. And it was the exact same way that she fired Rory. I mean, he fired Rory. It's like, Joe, you ain't no boss. You ain't no, what boss is firing people through text messages? And when they ask like, yo, what's going on? You don't even answer. You don't say nothing. Like, yo, everybody keep talking about like, you had a job before. You know how jobs work. Yeah, when you get fired, usually it's a paperwork. The job say, this is why we let you go. This, and this. I ain't never worked a job where they start calling people and blasting me to my coworkers and wild stuff that I got fired and making up stories about me. I ain't never see, Joe ain't handling it like a boss, bro. The way he's handling it is straight up weirdo behavior. Now I want to talk about now. In my opinion, does Joe have the right to tell them no? I'm not giving you more money. Yes, he has the right to.
Tell me what I'm supposed to say to the people that keep calling the phone that I'm turning down the business for when they say, hey, what's going on? When I walk into my dad's house Sunday morning for breakfast and now my fucking family is asking what's going on. Those are things you have to factor in when you shake the tree. No, am I off?
Yeah, but do you understand why the tree was shaking though? I think you're skipping over that part.
Do so if he believes that he's the one working the papers and the contracts, and in his mind he's the boss. If he's the boss, he has the right to say no. But if those are your boys, teach them to the business. Teach your boys this is my thing. If these dudes are so stupid, don't understand the business, not bringing anything to the table, why didn't you as a man pull your boys to the side and say, yo, I don't feel like y'all pulling y'all weight, bro. He said in a previous podcast, he didn't tell him that. He just had built-in animosity, and he was treating them differently because he felt like they wasn't bringing enough to the table. He just let that rest in his heart. He let that weigh heavy on his heart instead of talking to his mans about it. Let's stop just painting out to be Rory and Maul to be snake scumbags. Like, it don't make sense. Joe messes up everything that he messes up. I hate saying that, but it's like, yo, dude messes up everything. And like I said in the last episode, the dude is like a phoenix. Joe is an amazing creator. Joe will always rise from the ashes. Joe will always find a way to make it out. I'm not doubting that. This thing with Ish and Ish, this is going to work. It's probably going to work because you know what? Joe knows what he's doing. The problem is he's just so egotistical. And the thing is, y'all trying to paint Rory and Maul out to be snakes for trying to get the business right, even if they don't understand the business. And Joe saying, screw you, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Move out the way, shut up and color. That's wild to me. That's wild. That don't make sense to me. And it shows that everybody that talked about him and said these things about him was right. His history just keeps repeating. How y'all gonna keep standing up for Joe when every time somebody speak about Joe, they're like, yo, dude is narcissistic. Dude has problems. Dude don't treat his friends right. Dudes don't talk to people the right way. We've seen clips of how he talk. Bro, how when are we gonna stop blaming other people, bro?
Do you abandon the show?
Oh yeah, facts.
Oh, okay.
What happened? We don't need to explain it to people because they was there. Hold on.
I'm saying he feels a way that the show went on with other people, and you saying we had to scramble to keep this shit going. Okay, when you're viewing it, and again, perspective, none of us communicated of a show continuing, it doesn't feel like it's a priority to fix shit. So yes, when Maul says, when I saw
that's
people come
y'all
on,
job. Wait the second, and that's my thing. You're right. Whose job is that to check before we shake the tree?
When he was talking about sitting on a young lady's chest and stuff like that, the dude been accused of abusing women. The lady say he's crazy that he date. The last chick he fired from the Will Name This podcast later, she said he fired him just like did Rory. He talked to Maul crazy. He did Rory like this. He burns all these bridges. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Even his son jokes about it. His son has grown to embrace him and be like, yo, that's just my pops. That's just how my pops is. But his son was like dissing him in songs at a point and stuff like that. But his son embraces him like, yo, that's just how my pops is. But Joe ain't rap too tight. Now I want to get to academics because I've seen a lot of people stand up for academics and I want to get up out of here. I saw people stand up for academics like, yo, how can you call academics a clown? People was talking trash about academics. I hope that plane ain't too loud. But people was talking trash about academics. Of course, academics is going to attack people. He's getting his revenge. Bro, academics is not innocent, bro. Cut it out. I watched that dude with his War in Chirac series narrate people dying, bro. All right? The dude has been a clown since he stepped foot into the game. And then with the whole Tekashi thing, and I know a lot of y'all academics fans, y'all love Tekashi too, and y'all don't want to hear nothing about that. But my thing is, what's weird,
I was focused on how we could get the four of us back together on this fucking podcast. That's where my focus was. And I think that was apparent in the conversations that we had, conversations I had with Maul, getting things correct in the most timely manner possible. In no way was this abandoning something that anyone had built for their entire lives or invested in their entire lives. It was a conversation that you and I had, and it was, yo, everyone get in their corners. This might be necessary. So I'm not gonna let you mislead people to think that Maul and I just abandoned ship on some shit. Like, it's just not what happened.
About academics that I don't like about academics that makes him a clown is the dude, he doesn't stand on any type of morals or principles. The dude Tekashi sat down and had an interview with DJ Academics, but him and Tekashi had an interview, and Tekashi was lying about that sexual assault case nonstop. It was completely lies. He lied up and down that when the legal documents came out and Tekashi confessed to certain things, and when it went to when they were battling with it legally, so much came out that he was straight up lying, and DJ Academics protected him. So I was like, yo, you protecting a dude that assaulted a minor, or he was involved in a minor getting assaulted, you protecting him? That look a little odd, right? That looked a little odd. So then, when Tekashi went to jail and snitched on everybody, DJ Academics helped create the narrative and run the narrative that, they kidnapped him. They was smashing his girl. They was doing this. They was doing that. They was doing this. They was doing that. But my thing is, one thing that flew under the radar that people are talking about, that guy that was in the interview, and Tekashi has admitted to it himself. I think he has like a documentary. I seen a clip. He admitted to him. He admitted on his own. He sat next to Shotty. He went into Shotty's phone, saw that Shotty was smashing his baby mama, sat next to Shotty on a plane for like 6 to 8 hours, didn't say nothing to Shotty, didn't confront Shotty, didn't do nothing. He hops off the plane, goes to his baby mama crib, and beats her up.
Okay. When I go to the other room, I swipe up, I go to the text messages, and I put Sarah, my baby mom's number in. First message I see. Well, why'd you hang up on me? Call me after you done running. I don't even know how to go about it. This nigga got a gun on his lap, like he's just like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm just looking at him like, this is crazy. Like, something that she made me feel crazy for. Like, it's all in your head, it's all in your head. I swear to my daughter. Like,
and DJ Academics DJ Academics just blows it over. Still protected. Anytime a rapper sends shots at Tekashi, DJ Academics is like, no, I'm gonna create a narrative about that rapper. I'm gonna be at that rapper neck. I'm gonna tear them down. I'm gonna do all this to protect Tekashi. And it's like, why are you standing so hard behind a man that's doing all this? This man has helped get a woman assaulted. This dude went and beat up his baby mama for sleeping with a dude when he was standing next to the dude that did it. He didn't even say nothing. Like, even if you say, be mad at your girl, you don't beat up a female. And DJ Academics, you don't go and stand up for this dude. It's just straight up weirdo behavior. That's why I don't rock with DJ Academics. And then on top of that, with the whole Rory and Maul thing, DJ Academics was acting like an alcoholic. The dude drinks on damn near every stream. Well, at least that I used to see. I don't know if he drinks anymore because I don't really watch the streams no more. I didn't see clips. The dude was drinking every damn night and was having crazy rants that didn't make sense. And yeah, they did say, he act like he's having a coke rant, like dude is acting crazy. And they didn't respect him. They was like, we don't respect him. We don't rock like that. And then they was like, we're not even going to dress over there no more. We're going to leave it alone. And I think Rory did come and put a card in DJ Academics' mailbox. And I think that was wrong. I will say, I think that was wrong. You don't show up to somebody's door unless you really on smoke. But then what makes it even more corny to Academics' part is Academics has been giving him smoke for damn near a year. But then he turns around and says, don't try with me. I'm not the tough guy. You're talking crazy. I'm going to confront you. What are you talking about? Don't try with the tough guy. No, you're talking crazy. So I'm going to confront you. I have a problem with you. But DJ Academics pulled the card like, I'm not the tough guy. Y'all can't do nothing to me. I'm going to antagonize all these artists. I'm going to talk crazy about all these artists, all these women, but don't attack me because I'm not the tough guy. Y'all lame if y'all do something to me. How does that work? How do y'all let stuff like that slide and y'all side with that? That's weird. That's weird. And he said, y'all ain't gonna never catch me. I be in the house, bro. And when I leave the house, I got security. Y'all ain't gonna never catch me. And then y'all be like, yeah, get him act. It's like, what is wrong with you? Like when if ladies support something like this, like seeing the tomfoolery and the gossip and all that stuff, that's cool. But as a man, how do you see that and stand with that and support that as a man? That's why I don't like DJ Academics. It's not just this situation. It's the long history of him being a bozo and a clown. And I can't believe that people sat there and watched Joe Budden leak business between him and his friends to DJ Academics to create narratives, to run narratives up. And now they're saying that them boys are snakes for trying to get down to the bottom of the business. Teach your boys how to win. Teach your boys how to win. When bro, I'm telling you, we sat there. Go watch the episode. It was one episode with Ish and Ice. They were talking about Diddy. I had Diddy did bad deals, and Joe was up there standing for Diddy doing bad deals. Sitting up there standing up for Diddy doing bad deals. When Megan Thee Stallion said that she had a bad deal and she wanted to get out of her contract, Joe stood against her. But this the same dude that stands with the creator. This the same dude that be ranting and snapping about, y'all gotta be transparent. Y'all gotta give us numbers. Y'all gotta show us all this information. Y'all gotta do this, y'all gotta do that. Y'all gotta do this, y'all gotta do that. He's steady ranting stuff that he don't exercise himself. Joe ain't empowering nobody, bro. He's not trying to empower nobody. What he's trying to do is take the position of the oppressor. That's it. If Joe could just do this all on his own and blow and make all his money, keep all the money to himself, he would. But Joe understands the business and he understands the dynamic with a podcast and having multiple voices and having a team. It's very profitable to do it that way. Now it sucks because you got to pay people, you lose money, but overall it makes the product better. If you ain't know your A game, your teammate might be able to step up and save the show. But it's just like, Joe ain't teach his boys nothing. If all these years your boys don't understand the business, you felt like your boys was underperforming, talk to your boys, talk to your guys.
I don't have to mislead anyone. And that's why I want to provide y'all the space to say anything that you feel you need to say, not only to the viewership, whoever that is. I don't know who's out there, but there's an audience that you
That's not what happened.
That's
Joe,
a
you looked me in my face and told me this show was none of my business.
Yeah,
that's what you told me.
I was there.
That's not crazy to you?
So I saw a lot of people talking about this on social media. I guess the
trending. Is that
podcast
not
was
crazy?
posted and
If
then
you say
taken
no, it's
down. And here is what we were able to recover thus far.
Y'all go get the advertiser and the integration. Hey, we talk about these deals all the time. You bring it, you eat different. I bring it, I eat different. You niggas ain't brought shit and got the nerve to have y'all representation and ain't been around in 6 years. Hit Ian phone. We gonna do this since Rory feels like he has so many options here. Rory, you are in breach of your contract, and from this point forward, you are fired, and you're not welcome back.
Ouch.
Sheesh.
What do y'all bring? That's what I've been thinking this whole time. And granted, I think Rory is cool. I like Rory and Joe's dynamic. I like it. That nigga Maul can go. Maul is too cool to podcast. He don't say nothing. He just be in the corner sitting. The other day, this man said, "Oh, y'all niggas have sex with the AC on?" Nigga, what?
No.
You're lying.
Well, you spoke to Royce, so you could call. All I got is my history. I'm the person that called Royce and suggested that Sahai join. That's who I am.
Well, what I'm saying
and I'm tired of my character being just spoken about the wrong way.
I'm talking about
niggas received those calls.
I'm talking about if you had just listen to what I'm saying. You like some things were said to you, and you like, you know what? All right, cool. I'm out. You feel like niggas disrespected you. They said some crazy shit to you, and you was like, yo, you know what? I'm out.
What? Get him off the pod. He's not a podcaster. Some people is not just podcasters, man. Not everybody can do this. Y'all treating this just like it's some rap shit. Just so y'all can get an easy bag. No, not everybody can rap. Not everybody can podcast. Not everybody's a media personality.
Why?
God damn. You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
I don't want to see no crocodile tears. This is a celebration for 2 untalented hacks, 2 bozos, and 2 fucking workers who finally figured out what their true purpose was.
So I
That's how you
guess
treat your friends? What the hell is going on over
I
there?
thought they made amends. I don't know what happened.
Oh, well. Well, didn't they say like 5 years ago that the Breakfast Club would only be around 3 more months or something like that? Didn't I remember hearing one of them say that?
Listen, I don't know. I haven't heard a thing, but I just guess now. Is there any coming back from this?
They should have been coming back from the way he was talking to them last time. You're not going to talk to me disrespectfully.
But they did go back. So is there a way to ever resolve this?
No. He owe me 5 minutes, matter of fact. Rory's been asking for 5 minutes for years. He should get his 5 minutes.
I just want to say happy born day to my friend, Dolly Bishop. She's the president of the Black Effect Podcast Network. Today is our born day. Dropping the clues bombs for Dolly Bishop. I love you, I value you, and I appreciate you. And I also want to say Tamika D. Mallory, State of Emergency, How to Win in the Country We Built. My other friend, I love her, and I value her, and I appreciate her. Her book is out right now, available everywhere in all formats.
You was like, yo, you know what? I'm out. If Sahai was on the same album, the record you were on 2 days later, and they took you off, and you didn't feel no way about that.
And I tucked it.
I'm asking you,
and I tucked it.
I'm asking you, did you feel any way about it?
Yeah, but if we having a feelings talk, I started this with, I have a lot of feelings about things.
I'm just asking you.
I'm talking to y'all about the feelings that adult men have to not only tuck,
I understand that,
but express and deal with. That's what I'm talking about.
I totally understand.
I want to tell you, if you ever talk to me like that, you owe me 5 minutes, bro. But I still love you.
What is going on?
What is Butt F 99 in the 2000 talking about this morning? Andy, what are you talking about?
You told me you love me. I said I love you back.
I do. What are you talking about? God is good, man. I mean,
hated the most is that they identified me as a co-founder of Facebook, which I am. You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything. Get him out of here. It's okay, I'm going. Hang on. Almost forgot. Here's your $19,000. I wouldn't cash it, though. I drew it on the account you froze. I like sitting next to you, Sean. Makes me look so tough.
You deserve, Crody. You should be lucky to be sitting with a nigga like Joe. But
what? That nigga was talking too crazy about me. So I put him in his place. I flexed on him a little bit. I wasn't trying to do too much. And then the bum ass nigga showed up to the crib, dropped some shit in my mailbox. Like, first of all, I'm still like, listen, I had to zoom in extra hard on that fucking license plate. Like, I've been looking it up. I had a private investigator try to check it out. They couldn't figure out if that shit was an Uber. They couldn't figure out if that fucking Kia belonged to him. I don't even think that bum has a car. So listen, I'm over here stuck like this nigga had the audacity to pull up to my motherfucking crib. He over here talking shit about me like he a boss when he a fucking worker. Now let me violate him, okay? So after, his side chick got piped out, ran through by the whole squad at my crib. Yes, it's on 4K, on video. Yeah. Then she wanted to tell me secrets. He not even a rap nigga. She told me everything about the nigga. I said, no way. I seen the Birkin. It wasn't even real. It was sitting on my fucking kitchen counter. I said, holy. Yo, I said, God, I know I've been fucking up, but thank you for this one. Ended that boy. That boy want no smoke with me. Ended that nigga. Flawless victory. I should have seen what happened. Ended him. Okay? Now I seen him. Listen, I talked to Joe. I salute Joe. Joe's on Patreon. You know what they doing on Patreon? They getting subscriptions. So the same bum ass nigga who was talking and trying to talk down on Twitch, not Joe, Rory, he's over here gassing up Patreon when he pretty much is trying to solicit $5 donations or $5 subscriptions. Just shows you how behind these motherfuckers were. Okay, so when I had to put my foot on that boy, okay, had his girl slapping him in the crib, okay, you feel me? I did that with a reason. I'm not no bully. I seen the boy wave the white flag. He started calling niggas around. I don't even know why this bum ass nigga did that. You could have DM'd me. You wanted to get on the phone. I don't know what you want to talk to me about. Apparently, he wanted to tell me. That's what he told me through other people. That yo, it wasn't me that came to your crib. And I was like, nigga, I caught you in 4K. I got the best cameras in the fucking world. I spent 30 grand on it when I moved in. What are you talking about? Anyway, he was trying to say no. It was my girlfriend. And nigga snitched. Like, goddamn it. So it was my girlfriend who sent the guy and these killers. What the fuck are you talking about, you dummy? You feel me? So after that, he probably realized you're in over your head. Like, were you about to do something or not? The pussy can't even talk about me no more. Ended that nigga. I'm not here to bully him. Listen, he been getting beat up by his girl. I think she ran off with her wedding ring. It's over. Flawless victory. Hats off. Chat niggas win. That bum will never fucking mention my name again. And that's how I'm going to treat all these niggas, bro. That's the only way. Because if you sit here, I was sitting here mad cool, and everybody started to think, let's just bully academics. That's how we get it. Everybody was like, let's bully Ac. That's what they were doing. So you know what I said? All right, fuck it. I'm about to just catch a couple of y'all and just make a mean example out of y'all. Okay? And I'm sorry. Rory and that other nigga who's Jay-Z's pre-cum was one of the fucking, you know what I mean? Just one of the examples I had to make. But after that, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, I just use them for comedic relief at this point, like, because when I go in on them, it's just quick comedy. It's like, I got jokes for them for like 20 years. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, that's shit. That's shit. Somebody said, is Casanova's career over? If you really want leverage, you build a podcast without Joe, and that shit lit, Joe gonna have to talk to you different. They didn't want to do that. Put the same episodes on your YouTube. If they're coming to your YouTube more than Joe got to talk to you about some shit. They didn't do that. Why are y'all mad at Joe? They're lazy. They're bums.
No other place would do that. But you, my man, so you can, right, Ian? They wouldn't. But you, my man, so you can have it. Go build your YouTube page. Same for Maul. You both can have access. You know what happened?
They didn't build a YouTube page.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So that existed. And then they wanted to know, well, how much are we going to get paid from this Spotify thing? Like, how much is it? And I said, I don't know. Like, my plan is to build a business. And I've never built a business. So, well, not a proper one. Not correctly. But I'm taking the proper steps now to do that. So I can't really tell you how much you're going to be paid because it's going to fluctuate. I have no idea what these costs are going to be. They made me lock into a number.
Okay.
Change the splits. Change the benchmarks. Hey, y'all go get a deal and bring it back. I'll take less. I'll take less. Not much less. Not much less. But I'll take less if y'all source it. Hey, y'all go get the advertiser and the integration. Hey, we talk about these deals all the time. You bring it, you eat different. I bring it, I eat different. You niggas ain't brought shit and got the nerve to have y'all fucking representation and ain't been around in 6 years hit Ian phone about something. I won't say what I want to say, but y'all will not continue to treat me this way. Y'all not gonna continue to treat these people this way. Y'all take that fucking dark energy, that arrogance, and that entitlement somewhere else.
PTSD.
I say all of that to say, we gonna do this. Since Rory feels like he has so many options here. Somehow he still feels like he's running the show. He still feels like he has choices and options. He feels like he's entitled to more. Rory, you are in breach of your contract, and from this point forward, you are fired, and you're not welcome back. Does anybody in here have a problem that I'm the person that has to say that?
No.
Maul, I'm the person that has to say that. The gall of you to think that you are observing the way that I am.
Why? This drop. I never asked for this drop in here, Rory. You piece of shit. I never asked you to show up when my son was born either. I never asked for nothing. It's Parks' house. It's Parks' engineering. It's Parks' kindness and grace, you fucking piece of shit.
What's happening?
I don't give a fuck about a bag. I can get a bag anywhere on this planet. I'm talking about respect. I don't go where I'm not respected. I don't hang out where I'm not respected. I don't fuck with niggas that don't respect me. Period. I don't give a fuck about no money. I don't give like that was never a thing for me. I don't care about money. I don't put stock into money like that. Like some of my best friends are broke, but they will do anything for me.
Same.
You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't.
What does
so
this
money
mean
is
to
not,
you, gentlemen?
I don't care about money.
I have no information about it, so I'm not going to sit here and.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, congrats to Charlemagne. You know, it's anytime you in partnership with a company, logistics of the deal and you know the business behind it. But if it's an avenue for black creators to be heard, be seen, I salute it.
Why?
He's trying to divide and conquer the same way he did by getting Ack on his podcast.
We're gonna the benefit there where that behooves everybody is I'm gonna be the guy that makes sure and I'm paying for everything. So I'm gonna be the guy that knows how much we need to be okay. I'm sorry, Maul, that you don't poke your head up enough to know that you haven't paid for anything in years and that I'm the guy that has to make these hard decisions. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that you think me explaining it to you is an indictment against our friendship. It is not. I love you. I love you. Y'all not here for me to tell you, but I love you guys. But y'all won't stop the business. Y'all won't stop who I am in my core. Y'all won't stop who I am in my spirit, my legacy, who I will be when I die. Y'all gonna remember me for saying, Joe fought for niggas. That's what it is. I'm fighting for my kid. I'm fighting for y'all. I'm fighting for everybody. You ain't gotta believe that, but that's what it is. So I can't wait to talk about all. I can't wait to talk about all of this. Rory and Maul can go start a podcast. Well, no, they can't. Not at least for another year. By contract. If they do, I'm gonna sue the fucking pants off of them. But whenever they're able to, they can go and start a podcast. They can pay for the staffing. They can source the advertising. They can source the integrations. They can pay the insurance.
Studio time.
They could pay. Why? He still feels like he has choices and options. He feels like he's entitled to more. Rory, you are in breach of your contract, and from this point forward, you are fired, and you're not welcome back.
You're fired! You're fired! Whoa! You're fired!
fired. Does anybody in here have a problem that I'm the person that has to say that?
No.
Maul, I'm the person that has to say that. The gall of you to think that you are observing the way that I am, to think that I have to come to you about a problem I have with another man. We have things sorely mistaken around here. That's not ego and arrogance. It's realism.
A brief synopsis of what's been going on. Essentially, Joe Budden and his co-host Rory and Mal had issues. There was growing tension for months, and it eventually got out of hand to the point where Rory, Mal, and Joe Budden got into it. Rory and Mal walked away from the podcast for a bit, and then Joe immediately brought in his other friends, Ish and Ice. Now, as a fan of the podcast, I'm not gonna lie, Ish and Ice were not bad additions. I think he found a good set of co-hosts, people that weren't going to be yes men and stuff like that. That's not a slight to Rory and Mal, because I'm gonna talk about that in a second with this whole situation. But it worked. And a lot of people say like, yep, that's proof that Joe Budden didn't need Rory and Mal. It's not that Joe Budden needs Rory and Mal, it's that Joe Budden just needs decent co-hosts. Nobody's watching the Joe Budden podcast. It's called the Joe Budden podcast. Nobody's watching the Joe Budden podcast for Angry Joe. Like we're just not. Like a lot of us couldn't. I personally couldn't sit there and listen to Joe Budden ramble and yell at people and scream at people for 2 hours.
Why?
And talk about how trash people are. Joe's co-hosts have sort of dialed him back a little bit and forced him to have conversations. But if you don't have a solid co-host, you end up having Joe Budden like he did when he was on Complex, when he was sitting across from Lil Yachty, growling at him for not knowing his contract situation.
I enjoy conversation, bro.
Then tell me what you want from hip hop.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't think that's a question you should answer at some point?
What do I want from hip hop?
Or are you leaving all of this to QC to figure out?
Nah, I mean, I'm making music, bro. I'm just having fun. I'm saying my fans love it.
But what's going on? And you one of the hottest niggas on earth.
But what do you want me to say? You want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating fucking oodles and noodles. I want you who's well spoken and articulates himself well.
My nigga.
So a lot of people have been using this situation to try to slight Rory and Mal, but I want to talk about the situation. So Rory and Mal left. Now Joe Budden comes on the podcast, and a lot of people are not addressing this in videos that I've been watching. When they left, Joe Budden came and said, hey, I want to give y'all a little bit of transparency. He tells his side of the story, and it makes it seem like, hey, it's just some friends having a little quarrel. It's nothing crazy. He tries to be a little bit transparent, but it makes himself out to be like, hey man, I was kind of blindsided. Like I kind of don't get it. It was just building tension. You guys can see it. I can see it. And Rory invited me to his hands, and you guys saw it. So it's just like, we had to, go our separate ways, but I miss my guys. Hopefully my guys come back. And he kept saying, hopefully my guys come back. He kept saying that as if they left willingly when he told Rory did not come in. But that's neither here nor there. One thing I wanted to speak on that a lot of people are also missing is that when Joe Budden says, yo, Rory started this, he was inviting me to his hands. He was inviting me to his hands. There's a clip. You have to find it. It's when Joe Budden's working at Complex. I'm not going to put anybody clips in here because I don't want my video claim. But there's a clips of Joe Budden, Rory at Complex. I don't know if Mal was there, but the conversation between Rory and Joe Budden.
Wale just told me yesterday that he can't.
Artist and writer. So why am I here?
I'm not going to take.
Why did you walk over here?
In the event that something hits me, I'm not going to react to it well.
Nigga, you just wrong. Shut the fuck up and be wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
I don't care about dick riders like you who want to perpetuate shit. That's how y'all play up here. I don't play like that. That was your guy, Rory. Yeah, Rory, I'm going to fuck you up. Come on, do it again. I've been waiting for this.
Chill.
Yeah, hold on. Yo, I'm just
wait.
Every time I kicked his ass, the pundits like only trying to promote an album. Joe Budden has never given a fuck about promotion. It ain't about the podcast. I care about.
And they were joking, of course, but for him to pretend like they don't joke like that or they don't talk to each other like that is kind of weird. I don't get it. And everybody sort of runs with that narrative because that's the narrative Joe, runs with. And even on Rory and Mal's return episode, where they aired things out, Rory was like, "That's not what it started. I didn't start it." And then Joe was like, "Well, everybody saw it. It's documented. It's on video. What in the world?" And then Rory just let it go and glossed over it. But if I saw that on Complex, where Joe was threatening Rory in the past, well before the Complex, before Spotify. If I saw that back then, that only makes me wonder like what has been said behind the scenes. Now, some guys play like that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We all got that homie that he thinks fighting is funny, whatever. But they've talked to each other like that, anyways. So then they come back, they air it all out, they hash it out. As a viewer watching this, it's uncomfortable because Joe just doesn't realize that he tries to make points, and see, the thing is, Joe is, in my opinion, he has like narcissistic ways about himself, but he's not stupid. So Joe can frame a conversation and a topic the way that he wants it to, but he doesn't realize, he can make a good point despite it being hypocritical. So it sounds good in theory, but when you look at it and you try to look at the totality of it, he's been a hypocrite, right? Example. Joe told Maul the podcast ain't none of his business. Maul was just like, yo, my head all crooked. I don't care. Maul asked Joe like, yo, I want to see the business behind the podcast. What the pod is making, what's going on. I want to see the numbers. Joe told Maul that's none of his business. Now,
that's not what happened, Joe. Joe, you looked me in my face and told me this show was none of my business.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
I was there.
That's not crazy to you?
Yeah. Your own blood. Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
I've seen clowns like DJ Academics and other people saying, well, if Joe's the boss, he don't owe them nothing. He don't owe them nothing. When Joe was signed to Spotify, their last month or two of their deal, he came on complaining about them non-stop. Complained about all these platforms non-stop. He complained about YouTube. He complained about Spotify. He complained about Complex. And that these companies were not trying to give people their just due. They weren't transparent and they weren't giving the numbers. He even brought up Jay-Z. Don't believe me. Go do this research for yourself. He even brought up Jay-Z. They had a deal that he was trying to negotiate with, what's the platform that Jay-Z had? Tidal. He was trying to negotiate with Tidal. He said, yo, can I see your numbers? Can I see your analytics? Can I see this? Can I see that? And Jay-Z looked at him and said, no, you're not getting that. And
he told all the princes of the land that if you wanted my daughters, that you...
Big Red.
Give me a minute. Can't you see I'm talking?
No. I need to talk to you right now about my royalties and how you keep your books.
My office hours are from 9 to 5.
Fuck your office hours. I need to talk to you right now, motherfucker.
was like, well, thank you for not lying to me. I appreciate you not lying, but at least you were honest. All these platforms told Joe Budden no, and then he complained about it, and then he turned around and did the exact same thing to his friends. And a lot of people say, well, it's business, it's business, it's business. Yes, it can be business, but be consistent. That's where lines get blurred when you don't be consistent. You can't treat your boys like, yo, we're partners in this. You're my guys. We make these decisions together. We're building this together. You're my boys. We're partners. And then when they ask you a question, you turn it to, no, I'm the boss. See, there's a difference, right? You can have a team with a leader. You can have a team with a leader. You can have a boss. You can have that. That is true. But partners and bosses are not the same thing. My boss is my boss. That's not my partner. There's a huge difference. And Joe portrayed this podcast for years as a friendship, as partners, as boys, and all these things. And I peeped game. I peeped game a long time ago. I remember when they first finished up with Spotify and Joe like rolled in there like not too long after and was talking about how he got his deal with Patreon. And when he got his deal with Patreon, it was just he was talking about himself getting a deal with Patreon. I'm thinking like, damn, like this is kind of odd. Like, yo, y'all just skipped on the Spotify. I don't care how big the bag is. That bag was money that Rory and Mark could have had. Y'all skipped on the bag on Spotify and Joe has a Patreon deal. That seems kind of odd, right? The Joe Budden Network blows up and he's bringing in all these other different podcasts that don't nobody really give a damn about outside of his. No one cares about those other two podcasts. No offense to those ladies. They may be able to go to another network and be super successful if they're appealing to the audience of that channel, but they don't appeal to this audience. So nobody over here cares about that podcast, those podcasts. But you're bringing in all these other podcasts. You're cutting them checks. You're giving them money. You're getting a Patreon deal. Then it was like a Cash App deal. It's like it always was like Joe's getting deals, Joe's getting deals, Joe's getting deals. And it's like I'm looking at these guys. And you could just see the tension growing. Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, like I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but you can look at the situation and you can see the tension growing on the pod as business deals falls through and Joe gets better deals. Now they said out their own mouth it wasn't money, but anybody with sense could see that that's where the tension grew. Like it started growing when stuff started going left. Rory wasn't feeling it. Rory never even explained fully.
What you mean I roll with him?
That was the O.
About him? About you telling him not to come in?
About him anything.
About you telling him not to come in? Of course.
Him.
Of course.
And
of course I'm around with.
And I would like you to speak
co-host.
to. I want you. I'm not dealing with him right now. I'm looking at you.
And I understand that.
I want you to speak to what that means.
He's our co-host. It fucks up the whole chemistry. That fucks up the chemistry of this. That's what you not understand.
Well, I hate to be the guy to break it to you. Oh, let me not say that because that's not true. I hate to be the guy to break it to you. I don't foresee any world in the world where you're supposed to ride with Rory.
What?
I don't.
How do you figure that?
And let's clear it up from my perspective.
Hey,
how do you figure that?
I'm in the pod. I'm in the pod.
Let me be clear.
I'm in the pod.
Riding for the show.
I'm in the pod. You
Whatever,
looking nuts.
It's no.
Like that's it wasn't even about Rory.
More wasn't like, yo, you my man. Like it was
not
the
to
show.
record. Like that was nuts to me. Like
riding for the show is making sure that 30 or however many people that are attached to the show are okay. That's riding for the show.
No, riding for the show is obviously two people that are a major part of the show have an issue. And you telling one of them not to come in, and now I'm sitting here like, the riding part would have been, yo, let's all get in the room and talk about this.
Up front, like, yo, my issue was respect. You don't tell your boy, you know what I'm saying? If we're a team and we're partners, you don't tell him just not to come to work. You're crazy. You are acting like a boss. So are you our boss? Or are you our teammate? Are we partners? What is this? Not teammate. Are we partners or are you my boss? There's a difference. Those are legally different terms. So my thing is, Rory didn't really talk about it too much, and I feel like a lot of Rory's tension probably did come from those bad deals and stuff like that, because I don't see any other reason for him to be mad. They didn't even address really why Rory was mad in the first place. But I know Joe has said he was growing resentful of them over the last few months when he was talking about his side of the story. But it's like they had this whole scenario, right, and it's broke down and they fought. And I thought they hashed it out. It was very uncomfortable. It was very weird. They talked about it, and then we get to the most recent episode before they go on vacation again. Mind you, they've been gone for like a month or two, and they're back. They come back for 2 episodes, and they go on vacation again. So it's clearly still some tension. There's still some problems. Rory is talking. Maul isn't at all. Like it's weird. Like Maul will say stuff like random stuff here and there. But it was just like you could just feel the tension. You could see like it was one point Joe asked. It was like late in the episode. I watched the full content. Like if I'm watching content, you should watch the full content. If you make it toward the end of the podcast, Joe asked Rory Joe asked Maul like, yo, did you follow me back on Twitter? You hadn't followed me. Did you follow me back on Twitter? And he came back and asked him again, like, you still ain't following me, are you? And Maul was like, I'm listening. And he's like, listening to what? That ain't got nothing to do with what I just said. And Maul was like, the pod. It was like, what are you talking about? You're not listening, you're not paying attention. Maul was completely disconnected from the podcast the entire time, and it looks really, really bad. And then on top of that, now more news has came out that Joe is going to keep Ish and Ice around, which is fine because the fans like Ish and Ice, and I would never say don't have Ish and Ice when the fans like it, and on top of that, it's an opportunity for two brothers. I can't hate on that. But he's going to do that podcast strictly behind Patreon. So he's going to put them behind a paywall, and then pretty much they're going to be the main show over there on Patreon, which is fine. Do your thing. But it's like if I'm Rory and Maul, I'm probably still looking at that a certain way. I think that after they broke down how they are under contract, they actually have contracts to do the Joe Budden podcast. I think after this contract is done, there will be no more.
You helped build and pushed and never really argued about shit. Just kept, fuck it, let's keep it moving. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And they tell you years later, yo, this is none of your business.
I don't think I should have said that to you.
I don't think you should have said that either. But I'm asking you, if somebody
I
said
also
it to you,
do not think that was should have been, because I don't get to speak what should have happened. What did happen? I don't think it should have been the domino.
I think it's just done.
The
Rory, the Ish and Maul podcast is going to be titled, from what I heard, Joe will name this podcast later. And I think when Rory and Maul inevitably do not re-up their contract and they walk away, I think that Joe is just going to transition Ish and Ice over to the Joe Budden podcast. So maybe the Joe Budden podcast isn't done because Joe will probably never let the name die. He's just temporarily using the Joe will name this podcast later as a place filler. And if you've been watching them forever before it became the Joe Budden podcast, it was previously called We'll Name This Podcast Later or something like that, something along those lines. It's been a while. I can't remember that, but it wasn't the Joe Budden podcast always. It was like We'll Name This Podcast Later. I think that's what it was called. So it seems like a placeholder. They're all just waiting each other out. They're just dealing with the contract. Joe has fried the friendship. And the thing about it is I try to be like objective when I talk about this. I try to lay out the facts first. But in my opinion, I just don't understand Joe. As a fan of Joe, being a fan of Joe is just frustrating because no matter what he does, it's going to possibly go left. He always bounces back. Joe is a phoenix. Like he just rises from the ashes again and again and again. It's like Joe Budden was a rapper, then they tried to make him like a meme rapper. They was like, yo, that Pump It Up is trash. Then he rapped on his own and he wasn't as big. He never saw that stardom again, but he built his cult like following. Then the dude was in radio. Then the dude was in podcasting before podcasting was considered podcasting. And then he like pioneered podcasting and brought it to whole new levels and stuff like that. And it's like Joe constantly rises, but it's like he messes up opportunity after opportunity. And just to see the way he was acting like with the whole Rory Maul situation is crazy. And it's like, Joe, like you looked at Maul with a serious face and told Maul like, yo, I don't see how you roll with Rory. When it's like, Joe, DJ Academics goes on Twitch damn near every week and disrespect your boys and you are still friends with him. He disrespect your boys that you got business with. They're your friends. They're your business partners. These are your true homies. You didn't even respect DJ Academics when you first met him. And you still associate with that dude despite how bad he disrespects your co-host. The dude is trying to ruin Rory's relationship, leaking Rory cheating, going at the mall nonstop.
We can talk about this shit. It's easy. It's way easier once you strip that whole fucking pride and ego shit you have. Like that should never tear down. We've seen how much that's torn down so much shit before. Yeah. Like it's so much easier to sit. DJ Academics went on like a crazy rant about Rory and Maul, and then like the next day, DJ Academics was like live on Instagram. I saw it on YouTube. I don't follow him on no social platforms, but I saw it on YouTube that DJ Academics was live on Instagram the day after he crushed Rory and Maul, and Joe Budden hopped in the live. How'd that look? Like I'm not with the whole like if I'm not friends with that person, you can't be friends with that person. But if that person is attacking my livelihood and you still associate with them, I can't mess with you. So how can Joe sit there and tell Maul with a straight face you shouldn't rock with Rory when he was sitting there rocking with DJ Academics the whole time? It just don't make sense. Being a Joe Budden fan is just it's weird because it's like Joe always does something stupid that could always jeopardize him. Like the dude he was on a Breakfast Club, and remember they asked him like, yo, they said that you assaulted that woman. I forgot her name. And she said you were sitting on her chest and she couldn't breathe. No, you were sitting on her stomach and she couldn't breathe. And then he's like, I wasn't sitting on her stomach. It's like, what happened, Joe? Well, I was sitting under her breast so she couldn't move. It was like,
Joe, you just said the same thing and incriminated yourself. What is wrong with you? It's like Joe is crazy. He's crazy. And I know you battle with drugs, and people that battle with drugs often are never the same. They're kind of off, especially depending on how long you've dealt and abused drugs. So I don't know if that's part of the issue, but it's like, yo, Joe is such a problem. He gets in his own way all the time. And it's just weird seeing Joe Budden fans meet and sit there and disrespect and play Rory and Mal as if they didn't have a huge role when it came to building this podcast and helping it grow. How do you not get credit for being there for 7 years? For people to sit there and play them like, yo, they don't matter, blah, 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 for 7 years. This is that recency bias that plagued even sports fans. A dude can be amazing for 10 years. And those last 3 that you mediocre, they're going to demolish you. They're going to destroy you. They're going to say you're trash. They're going to say you this. They're going to say you that. It's recency bias. And it's just weird seeing that. And I feel like Joe knows that. So he's just capitalizing off of it. So leave how you feel in the comment section about it. I just want to talk about the situation because I am a fan of the podcast. And even if Mal and Rory leave, I do like Ish and Ice. And I probably will still watch it. But in the back of my mind, I probably will always feel like, okay, when is this going to end? It may be a few years, but inevitably it's going to end. It's always going to end because at the end of the day, Joe just can't stop being Joe.
What's going on? But you're telling him not
so
to. So
you don't even see a world where that even looks funny. You don't even understand.
No, because it wasn't what you're trying to paint it to be. Is not what it is. For me, it was simply like, yo, fam, that's our.
Oh wait,
dog.
time out. I don't want
that's
y'all.
our code.
All right, stop. Because I don't want this to appear like I'm trying to paint it away. I'm trying to get y'all to speak to what things look like from a perspective outside of your own. I'm not trying to paint it that way, so I don't want it to come off that way.
I totally get it. What I'm saying is, if you wrong, you wrong. I don't care if me and you are best friends. If you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. You was wrong to tell Rory not to come in and record. That was wrong. Hey, you can't tell Rory don't come in and record.
Parks.
Well, I actually would like to hear Rory's perspective on this because he kind of agreed that he shouldn't come in and record.
No, I agree. When
but he
I was
agreed
like, I'm
because
surprised
he
with our
was
attention. And after the explanation point on the text and all that, I'm like, I'm not fucking with this dude right now. I'll hit him in like a few days. Then I got more information from people that wasn't him about things that had to do with me and him and Maul. And I was like, all right, this is getting super weird. It's so much third party shit going on here. I don't even operate this way. And I got my private shit too, so I'm not hitting him. Fuck that. So did I agree that we needed to talk, or maybe taking some episodes off might have been a better idea because those last few episodes were super trash with the tension that we had. It was just bickering. It sounded bad. Agreed. But
if you want to squash something, maybe you don't. But we should if we're trying to get 100 million from somewhere. If you want to squash it, let me go squash it. Let me talk to him. I know him. I can kick it with him. He got his own mind. I can't make him do shit. But let me try it. I don't know what the beef there is. But from that point on, I think Rory looked at our friendship a little differently. And I never jumped in. Because if you send somebody to my house, or if I believe that, then you got to take what comes with that. That's none of my business. I'm staying out of it. As a friend, I don't think Ack is a threat to Rory. I don't think he has any idea of trying to harm Rory physically. Are you kidding me? You want me to take my mind away from real business and millions to deal with you thinking Ack is about to do something that he never did? Over a girl that you with or not with, it's none of my business. It's your personal shit. It's not mine. But we can't keep avoiding the fucking elephant in the room. I thought everybody was looking at Ack the way I was looking at him. Like, how's Ack? I didn't think people were really affected by anything academics was saying. That's how it's painted behind the scenes, you guys that's not here. Y'all said y'all wasn't affected. But then you keep looking affected. And I keep dealing with the effects and the ramifications of it without talking to Ack. And y'all think that I'm leaking information to Ack. No, he's just good at what he does. I ain't spoke to this kid. This man, he ain't a kid. He might have been a kid back then, he's a man today. I ain't spoke to him. He's guessing because he's worked with me and he's good at guessing, you guys. And if y'all took the shame out of it, you're working with your friend and you both are rich. If you came in here and took the shame out of it, if you came in here and addressed this shit a year and a half ago, like I asked both of you niggas to do, I was wondering what's up. Where's smoke? This nigga keep talking, let's get him. Hey, these niggas keep talking, let's get him. Anybody talking, let's get him. I gotta tell y'all that that's what Joe think. Come on, man, stop playing with me.
Man, Daddy, watch me twirl. Daddy, watch man. Daddy, watch me twirl. Daddy, watch.
Okay. And you've been there. And that's the part that pissed me off about friends. Me and Ish wasn't speaking in total, but you was there.
I battled you in total.
You battled me for the shits and giggles, key, let's play some songs. But when the broads came through,
Yes, Silence of the Lambs is what I want to hear. I mean, all the Gangstar CDs, well, CDs, tapes I stole from my brother.
So a lot of your brother music, huh?
I need to give my brother more credit in my music lifetime. Like, only for us to fight for the rest of my life until now. That's my man now. I love you, dude, if you're watching. Nah, that's my man now. I'm so glad I stayed alive long enough to stop beefing with one of my brothers.
It's just getting ridiculous, and I seen the first time I ever had to deal with any type of people on drugs, it was my wife and her boyfriend. So, you know, naturally, I came home from work and I started hearing some moaning from my bedroom, and I had to go figure it out what was going on. So I went in there and I said, boom, boom, bam! I shot up in that door like that, and the door flung open, and I seen, guess what I saw? I saw them with a double-sided dildo with their ass smashed together. I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. These motherfuckers look like cat dog. So I say, what the hell going on up in here? He gonna turn around and say, huh? And she gonna say, meow. I said, oh hell, something gotta be wrong. And that's the first time I ever came into contact with what these drugs doing to the community. It's just sad. It's just sad.